Chapter 13. Kind Woman. Nestled in the high mountains sits the village of Dragon Well. Once it was a poor and isolated place. In the poorest part of this poor village lived an old woman, all alone, a widow of many years and without sons or daughters to care for her. But she was good-hearted, and every day she would tend her scrawny tea bushes in memory of her husband, even though the villagers laughed at her folly, for her tea was bitter. Old wife's tea, they called it. In fact, to this day in China, poor quality tea is called by this name. Once in the middle of a harsh winter, as the old woman shuffled about the stove preparing her meager tea as an offering to her ancestors, she heard a knock on her door. "What a dreadful night to be out in the cold," the old woman said as she hobbled to the door. She opened the door and saw a shivering man in her doorway. "Please come in, sit down and have some tea." The stranger thanked her and took the warm cup of tea. "I'm afraid my tea is not very good, but it is all I have," the old woman explained as she worried over the guest's needs. "Why is that?" "You are a wealthy woman," laughed her guest as he drank the tea. "Wealthy? You shouldn't joke with an old woman like that, sir. How can I be wealthy? Outside your door is something of great wealth, and if you don't want it, I'd gladly pay for it." The old woman went to the door and peeked outside. There lay an old bench, a table and an old millstone mortar that was full of years of food scraps and rubbish. "I don't see what he could mean," she thought. The stranger on his way out pointed to the millstone mortar. "That is worth more than you could dream." The old woman told him that he could have it, but the man refused. "I have no money now and can't take it for nothing. I will certainly come back tomorrow night to collect and pay for it." The next morning the old woman went out to look at the mortar, and was so ashamed of its appearance that she decided to clean it up. She scraped the rubbish and spread it under her tea bushes, and then she drew water from the well and washed the mortar. She poured the dirty water under her tea bushes. When she was finished, she was happy. She said, "My strange guest will be happy when he sees it so clean." That evening, the stranger knocked at her door again. But this time the knock was louder and more insistent. He said, "What has happened to the treasure I came for?" The old woman was perplexed, and coming outside she showed him the newly cleaned mortar. "No," said the strange man, with a twinkle in his eye, "that wasn't the treasure at all." So saying he turned and left, never to be seen in the village again. That spring a wonderful thing happened. The old woman's tea bushes grew lush and tender leaves sprouted. The tea was so fragrant that all the villagers wanted to share her tea. She gladly gave them the cuttings and seeds of her tea bushes. So, all the tea bushes in Dragon Well were eventually planted from those bushes. The tea became famous throughout the land, and instead of being called Old Wife's Tea, it was called by a new name, the ancestor of tea. New words. Nestled, located. Scrawny, weak, unhealthy. Meager, little. Perplexed, confused. Millstone mortar, handmill made of stones for grinding wheat or other grains. Understanding the lesson. A. Complete the sentences with words from the lesson. 1. The village of Dragon Well was located in. 2. The old widow was lonely but a woman. 3. She would tend her scrawny tea bushes. 4. The stranger, who visited the widow, said that she was a he offered to buy the. 5. The old woman cleaned the millstone mortar because. 6. The stranger came back to say that. 7. A miracle happened that spring. It was that. 8. The old woman's tea became famous as. B. Reference to the context. Read these lines from the story and answer the questions that follow. 1. But she was good-hearted, and every day she would tend her scrawny tea bushes in memory of her husband, even though the villagers laughed at her folly, for her tea was bitter. A. Who was the kind woman? B. Why did the villagers make fun of her? C. What did the villagers call her tea? 2. Outside your door is something of great wealth, and if you don't want it, I'd gladly pay for it. A. Who said this? B. To whom did he say this? C. What was the wealth? C. Answer the following questions. 1. The old woman was poor and lonely. How do you know this? 2. Why was the lady surprised to see a stranger that night at her door? 3. What wealth was the man talking about? What did the old woman think? 4. How did the tea bush become lush and fragrant? Vocabulary Zone. Use the words in the box that describe ways of walking and fill in the blanks. You may use a dictionary. Pacing, wander, marched, plodded, crawl, limp, hobbled, strolled. 1. The man with used a crutch to walk. 2. My mother told us not to away. We could lose our way. 3. All of us in the park for a while, before going home. 4. The old woman along the street with the help of her stick. 5. The laborer home after a day's hard work. 6. My father was up and down, waiting for me to reach home. 7. The baby learned to before he could walk. 8. The army on the streets. Grammar fun. A. Look at these sentences. There are many beautiful and out-of-the-way places, like wildlife reserves and sanctuaries, that people are keen to visit. To say that something exists, we use there is or there are. When there is only one thing, we use there is. And when there is more than one, we use there are. It is more natural to say, there are many beautiful and out-of-the-way places, like wildlife reserves, and not many beautiful and out-of-the places, like wildlife reserves and sanctuaries are there, that people are keen to visit. Similarly, it is more natural to say, there is a hole in that vessel and not, a hole is there in that vessel. Rewrite these sentences in a more natural way using there is or there are. 1. A worm is there in the cabbage. 2. A stationery shop is there just outside the school. 3. 2 apples are there in my bag. 4. A lot of salt is there in the curry. 5. A beauty parlor is there near my house. 6. A few people are there on the table. 7. Many people are there sitting under the shade of a tree. B. Look at these sentences. The tourists can turn a quite beautiful place into a crowded, noisy and dirty place. Ramona can make beautiful pots. These two sentences express what the tourists and Ramona are able to do. Note the word order in the sentences. Subject, can, main verb. The tourists can turn a quite beautiful place into a crowded, noisy and dirty place. Ramona can make beautiful pots. The main verb after can does not take s, es, d or ed. We say, Ankit can drive the car. My mother can stitch the clothes. It is wrong to say, Ankit can drives the car. My mother can stitches the clothes. Make meaningful sentences using can and the clues given. Do as shown in the example. Example, all apes stand on just 2 feet. All apes can stand on just 2 feet. 1. A camel lives without water for several days. 2. Bats hang upside down for hours together. 3. A small hummingbird flap its wings up to 70 times a second. 4. A chameleon changes its color according to the background. 5. Whales talk to each other by sounds which we call whale songs. Listening time. Listen to a poem and fill in the blanks to complete the poem. Little, never give pain to things that feel, and let the gentle come for the crumbs you save at. As his meat you throw along, he'll repay you with a. Never hurt the timid, peeping from her green lair. Let her come and sport and on the lawn at close of day. The little goes soaring high to the bright windows of the, singing as if tea were always, and fluttering on an untired wing. Oh, let him sing his song, nor do these gentle creatures speak well. The old woman's tea becomes famous. There is a function to honor her. You are a journalist and you want to interview the woman. You could ask her about what happened that changed her life, how does she feel now, etc. You could begin like this. Journalist, congratulations, madam. It is a pleasure to talk to you. How did you think of planting tea leaves? Lady, my husband had planted. Right, well. Suppose you are the old woman. You wish to invite all the villagers to your home for a tea party. Write an invitation. If I knew the box where the smiles were kept, no matter how large the key or strong the bolt, I would try so hard to'd open. I know, for me, then over the land and sea broadcast I'd scatter the smiles to play, that the children's faces might hold them fast for many and many a day. If I knew as box that was large enough to hold all the frowns I meet, I would gather them, every one, from nursery, school, and street, then, folding and holding, I'd pack them in and turn the monster key, and hire a giant to drop the box to the depths of the deep, deep sea. Maud Wyman. New words. Bold, lock. Would, it would. Broadcast, hear, cast or throw in all directions. Frowns, lines on your face above the eyes to show anger or worry. Poetry appreciation. A. Answer the following questions. 1. What does the poet want to do? 2. Why is the poet looking for a large box? 3. What is the job that the giant will have to do? 4. What does dropping something to the depths of the deep sea suggest? 5. Pick out the rhyming words in the poem. 6. Compare the two entirely opposite actions that the poet wants to do in verse 1 and verse 2. B. Read these lines from the poem. Answer the questions that follow. 1. To'd open, I know, for me, A. What would open? B. Why does the poet say it would open for her? 2. Then over the land and sea broadcast I'd scatter the smiles to play, that the children's faces might hold them fast for many and many a day. A. Where would the poet scatter the smiles? B. What would the children do with the smiles? 3. Then, folding and holding, I'd pack them in A. What would be packed in? B. Why does the poet want to do this? Work in groups. Think of a good quality that you would like everyone in the world to have and an unpleasant thing that you would like to remove from this world. Talk about what you could do to make it happen in your own group.